FM. My name is Beatrice. The news is also live on Kesme 107.1 FM and across the world at 3news.com. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. The stories are all is set for the official unveiling of Energy Minister Dr. Matthew Afful as the NPP running mate for the 2024 general election. We are live in the Menchia Palace and the Jubilee Park in Kumasi, where the action is taking place. Also coming up, fear grips residents of Mepa in North Tong district of Water region, following an announcement by the Water River Authority of a likely spillage of excess water from the Akosombo Dam in the coming days. Much later on the program, Attorney General welcomes decision by International Arbitration Tribunal to dismiss a $915 million suit filed by ENI and Vitol against the government of Ghana and Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. We start off from the Ashanti region, and it's the official unveiling of the NPP running mate, Dr. Matthew Afful, at the Jubilee Park in Kumasi today. But ahead of the main event, the flag bearer of the party, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who is also the current vice president of the country, together with other party bigwigs, are storming the Menchia Palace, where the party hopes to formally introduce the energy minister and now running mate to the Otumfuo Osei II in a grand style. One of our men on the ground, Ibrahim Abubakar, is at the Menchia Palace now with the team. He joins us live on the phone with some update. Ibrahim, I can imagine the kind of energy that's within the Menchia Palace now, but just tell us what more you've gathered so far.
Well, Beatrice, as I speak to you, any moment from now, the Asantini Otumfuo Osei the second will step out for the program to begin. We are told that the vice president and his running mate, Dr. Matthew Afful, are also in. Currently, they are having a closed door session with the Asantini before they come out. But like you actually said, currently Menchia has been painted red, blue, and white. Wherever you pass, you find these colors because NPP supporters and sympathizers, hundreds of them have converged here just to also witness the presentation of the running mate to the Asantini. Asantini, because we know Dr. Matthew Afful has a link to Menchia. He's a royal and biologically is connected to the throne because they are the carriers, their home, that's their Pejahini, are carriers of the Otumfuo. So definitely there is that link. So they deem it fit to present their running mate to the Asantini first before unveiling him and showing him to the people of the Ashanti region and Ghana as a whole. So it's not only the Asantini, but the Asante Council is also seated waiting for Dr. Bawumia and his running mate to come to them. So the place is charged, very, very charged atmosphere. People are outside there with their drums and everything, very, very charged, waiting to finish with this session before they move to the Jubilee Park, where the main unveiling will be held for the people of Ashanti region and Ghana as a whole.
Ibrahim, would you also say that it seems the culture of the Asante Kingdom is within the Menchia South, and therefore this introduction becomes very relevant?
Well, very, very relevant because whether we like it or not, NPP has a stronghold in the Ashanti region, and even the palace has a link to the NPP. If you look at former President Kufuor, former Defense Minister Kufuor, and the likes, they are all from the Menchia Gate or the royal family, and they are very strong in the NPP party. Dr. Matthew Afful, like I rightly said, is also a royal. So Definitely, they have to do it because they believe that it is very, very important to them, and also even assisting them to break their age. They believe that this is a very significant process that they have to go through before doing the official unveiling to the people of Ghana.
Ibrahim, beyond what you've told us, are you able to tell us the rest of the itinerary for the gathering, if you have any idea?
Well, for now, we've not gotten a clear itinerary, but what we know is that any minute from now, the Asantini will be seated, the vice president, the running mate together with Sam and Toraj will also be seated. Then they will do the presentation to him that this is the person that they chose to be the running mate of Dr. Baumia. Then from here, we'll all move straight to the Jubilee Park, where all the talks will be done, all the political talks will be done there, and they will also climax it by showing him to the people of Ashanti region and Ghana.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim Abubakar, reporting live from the Menchia Palace. We go live now to the Jubilee Park, where the main official unveiling will be taking place later in the day. Aman Evans Inkum joins us live from there as well. Evans, just paint a picture for us. Preparations on the ground ahead of this official unveiling.
Well, so in the next couple of hours, we should be seeing the climax of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh being presented to the people of the Ashanti region. As Ibrahim said, Menchia is almost wrapping up, and we are expecting to also receive him here as far as the grand outdooring of the NPP 2024 running mate is concerned. I have with me here the middle belt coordinator of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, of course, the NPP campaign. He's also the lawmaker for Tujase Asokore constituency. Dr. Ayu Efriye. Doc, so let's deal with your running mate. Yes. Many believe that there's a lot of job to be done on him because from the global info analysis, he's popular within the party, but outside the party, maybe he's not that popular.
Yeah, well, I don't know about global info analytics. I don't know about them, but in this game, just appreciate the consensus of everybody and just work to just ensure that whatever criticism they give you emboldens you to overcome your challenges and then put strategies to work. So the more critique you get, the more it gets you better. Just take it in good faith. So regardless of who is saying what, just know that it's a game that perception matters. And whatever feedback you get, put your strategy in your strategy and just move on to make your vote. So we take every criticism in good faith, yeah.
Party unity is very crucial going into the December polls. How well have you been able to mend cracks?
Who unites us is Alhaji Baumia. He binds us, and his face is on the ballot, and he sets exemplary leadership, and he's a very humble person. He's an incorruptible person. We all believe in him, and we united behind him. So regardless of any challenges, obviously everybody will get to realize that he's the one that we take in, and we need to be behind him. And I think regardless of anything, we are winning these elections, and we truly will win these elections. Yeah.
All right. So we've been hearing from Dr. Ayu Efriye. He's the middle belt campaign coordinator for Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, and for that matter, the ruling New Patriotic Party.
Thank you, William Evans Inkum. He's our Northern Bureau Chief. We'll certainly come back to you to get the latest from you. But let's take a listen to a profile of the NPP running mate who is being outdoored today, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh.
Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh is a medical doctor by training. Nana Opoku, affectionately called Napo, is 56 years old. Born to Oheneba Kwame Chiretie and Madame Elizabeth Akosua-Nyarko, his father was one of the many sons of the 14th Asantehene Otumfuo Agyeman Prempeh II. Oheneba Kwame Chiretie ruled as Ejapahene of Menchia Palace for over 4 decades until his demise on June 23, 2013. Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh's relationship with Menchia Palace is rooted in his upbringing and has been a significant aspect of his identity, both personally and politically. 72-year-old Nana Kwabena Mensah saw his development from childhood.
Naponkwara bremo odinyini ye nyina oyo nipa obu nipa obre no ho ase unya no ho ase monka sembone bia nka se Dr. Napo otentem hanmo.
Napo is someone who respects people and is humble. You will never hear bad news of him. We never saw him engaging in bad acts like smoking till he grew up. Everyone has issues. And so if he meets someone outside who says something he doesn't like and he responds, it does not mean he doesn't respect.
In 2007, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh won the MPP primary for the Menchia constituency and subsequently won the 2008 parliamentary election. Although Menchia was split into North and South, Napo maintained the South, a seat he has held since 2012. Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh is a product of Prempeh College and the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, KNUST, both in Kumasi, as well as the Erasmus University in Netherlands. With the selection of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh as running mate to the flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, helped the New Patriotic Party NPP to break the 8. The answer will be known after the December 7 general election.
And that was a news desk report. Let's try to get a bit of that answer to that question posed in that report. We're joined by Dr. Kwesi Amache. He's a political scientist and a lecturer at the KNUST, the man who's majored in national and international politics. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good afternoon and thanks for having me.
Doc, we do know that you have an enriched knowledge in MPP politics, as it were. What can you say about the candidature of the selected running mate, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh?
Let me say good afternoon to your listeners. Actually, the MPP as a political party, has experienced some challenges. The internal politics has created some fault lines in the party. Factionalism in political party is not necessarily desirable, although factions are seen as normal development. But somehow, for some time now, the MPP has, if you like, been breaking apart. All these internal challenges culminated in the exit of Mr. Alan Chemati. And then also in Kumasi, until recently, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh was simply not in the good books of the regional chairman. And it was fueled by this need for a running mate. That sort of fault line was, first to open up with this running mate issue coming up. The chairman standing strongly behind one of the people whose name came up strongly, Dr. Adichum, the Minister for Education. At the end of the day, we have Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, and one thing he brings, as a political capital to add to Dr. Bawumia's ticket is the fact that he is, highly supported by the rank and file in Ashanti region. They speak so highly of him because they think that he supports them. He supports them. Here you're talking of political patronage. So if you like, he operates in this politics of, if you like, supporting, people from various angles to also get their support. They don't see Dr. Adichum as doing that. So my understanding is that in helping the party to mop up support in Ashanti region, not necessarily in the whole region, but, within the party, he will do so well. But then politics in Ghana now, manifests in a context. And the major element of the political context in Ghana is the economy. And economic factors shape politics in so many significant ways, and especially in elections. It affects the decisions of electorate. So one thing I'd like to say is that, the mere fact that he's very popular in the party begins and ends in the party. He's not going to be able to change the economy of Ghana. It's not possible now. Even within the party, those who are sympathizers and have become disaffected by various, developments. And one of them, for example, is the Kumasi market issue. Structures have been pulled down long ago. Market men and women have had to stay at home for a long time. They've simply spent their working capital. And they've come out openly, to warn the party and to let them know that they are not satisfied. And for that matter, they will also let this come to show in the elections. I don't expect the fact that Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh has been, if you like, chosen as the running mate will affect, these issues positively. Will make the, market women simply all of a sudden make a turnaround. So he is going to help the party in the region, especially among the rank and file of the party itself. Dr. Bawumia has recently, tried to mend, the differences between NAPO and the party chair, and we would like to believe that they have really come to some sort of understanding and are ready to work together. But still, the bigger challenge, the economy and its effect on people remains, to the best of my understanding.
And indeed, you've said in this interview that you do not expect him to change much, especially around the economy with just 5 months to the elections. So you're not expecting any huge change. But really, what can the party do with him going into the December 7 polls?
Is it in regard to the economic challenges that Ghana is facing?
In regard
there's practically nothing that the party can do. In fact, far back as 2 years ago, some of us remarked that the party was going to go into opposition on account of the terrible nature of the Ghanaian economy. And we see a lot of things that give credence to anyone who says that there has been mismanagement. Simply actions and inactions, all bordering on consumption that we don't expect a state, if it were to be effective, to go into. There are so many things that have happened and continue to happen that, make you come to terms with an understanding that, the party has really not taken Ghanaians that seriously. It never had any serious plan to bring development to the good people of Ghana. Conscious efforts by the party to simply strengthen the party's capacity to, make money. The party's, what we call extractive capacity. It has not been built. In some areas, it is the state, led by the party in government, that is simply aggravating, those situations. This is in the area of Galamsey. The party simply appears to enjoy it, because we hear information of, party activists, party leaders, DCs, all actively engaged in it. You drive from Kumasi to Accra, you see this so glaring by the wayside. People's mindset, I think, are sealed. These things are not going to change simply because one, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh has been, if you like, nominated or even appointed as the running mate. So the challenges are still there.
Finally, before you go, very briefly, you would agree with me that since 2008, since the exit of former President Kufuor, there hasn't been any major Ashanti region high-profile position until the appointment of Napo as the running mate to the flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. How do you think this will appeal to the national followership of the NPP beyond the Ashanti region?
In fact, even if you were to focus solely on Ashanti region, you want to say that he's not going to be able to make significant impact. Because this is the first time Ashanti region came out openly to declare to the party that they are not satisfied with the party's contribution to development in the region. Ashanti region came out openly. One of the times, latest time that Ronaldo was here, he was hooted at openly. So, Napo going beyond Ashanti region to affect, the party's fortunes at the national level. I mean, where? Why is that going to happen? Given the negative public image that he has. So I don't think that the political capital that he brings to out to Dr. Bawumia's ticket is anything to go by.
Wanted here. Thank you very much, Dr. Kwesi Amache Boateng. He is a political science lecturer at the KNUST in the Ashanti region. Meanwhile, as the NPP prepares to unveil its running mate, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, in the Ashanti region today, some civil society organizations have raised strong objections to his nomination. One of them, the leader, or actually the spokesperson for these CSOs, is Mensa Thompson. Take a listen to him.
We believe that Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh is extremely tribalistic and temperamental for the second highest position of the land. We believe he's an incompetent policymaker and an incompetent policy implementer as well. We believe he's a chief promoter of shady, dubious, and needless procurement that has thrown this country into a mirage of debt. We believe he has a poor working relationship with stakeholders. And finally, he's very antagonistic towards civil society and divergent opinions. So I'll take them one after the other.
And you heard Mr. Thompson. He speaks for CSOs, raising issues with the nomination of Energy Minister Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh as a running mate to MPP flag bearer Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Now, the Attorney General and Minister for Justice Godfrey Yeboah-Dame has welcomed the International Arbitration Tribunal ruling in the ENI and Vitol vs. Ghana and GMPC arbitration. He says that while he wished the tribunal dismissed the claimant's claims against the Republic in its entirety, he is pleased to note that the tribunal rejected partly the claims against Ghana and entirely the claims against GMPC. ENI and Vitol sued Ghana for breaching a petroleum agreement by refusing to withdraw or prevent reliance by third parties on the unionization directives. The claimant wanted Ghana to pay monetary damages initially pegged at $7 billion, but subsequently reviewed to $950 million plus interest by the end of proceedings. The tribunal also found that in the circumstances in which they were issued, the unionization directives breached by the petroleum agreement. Now, regarding allocation of fees and costs, the tribunal held that since both parties had prevailed in some ways, both parties would be required to pay their own legal fees and costs. To the Volta region, where some residents of Mepa in the North Tong district say they are gripped with fear following the announcement from VRA indicating they are likely to spill another water. Maklalo of Mepe traditional area, Togbe Kwesi Nego the Sith, told 3FM the community is yet to recover from the harm they suffered during the last spillage, as the interministerial committee set up by the president after the spillage is yet to show any kind of work. They spoke with Joseph Armstrong.
Yeah, the community is not ready because VRA has not given us a clear message. And so VRA has also not engaged us one-on-one meeting. They just said notice that there will be a stakeholder engagement, of which we are waiting for them. If there's going to be a spillage, our readiness will mean that our people should have a place to be before the flood or the water comes. That is when we will be ready. Where are they moving to? There should be some structure somewhere, or some structure put up somewhere for them to move from where they are to go and live there. And if they move there, it means there's not going to be food. They are not going to, their livelihoods, their normal daily activities are going to cease. And so once they are there, we don't know how long it's going to be. The one that came last year.
And you heard the Manklalo of Mepa traditional area, Togbe Kwesi Nego the Sith, speaking to 3FM earlier. We have Joseph Armstrong in the community. He joins us live now. Joseph, can you just give us the mood of the community as it is now, beyond what the chief gave us?
Beatrice, so yesterday when the news came public, you could hear on the streets of Mepe and also to a large extent Bato and Veime residents walking by saying, have you heard the news? Have you heard the news? And they even mistook it to be coming from this community, they asked me, so have you also heard the news? They said they come to this village again. Have you heard? And you could see, indeed, they are traumatized. Later on, I went to speak to the Mankalo, who I met him with a group of other elderly people who were having a meeting to see how they can quickly put themselves in order. So in the case of any eventualities and the spillage should happen today, their community members will not be so much affected as it happened some 10 months ago, Beatrice.
So that will be the plan on their side. What about officials of VRA? What are they saying to ensure that they prevent massive destruction?
Yesterday, I spoke with the VRA Director of Environment and Sustainable Development, who told me that they are supposed to be spilling by now because the water level is around 256 height, and it's not too good for the dam. But they are still waiting and monitoring the situation carefully so that they do the spillage without massive destruction as what happened some months ago. So they are still trying to engage with the Mepe people and see how they can relocate them safely. Currently, they are building some structures around the government area so that they can move them to that place as a safe haven for them, because they don't want to move the residents into classrooms, because currently schools are in sessions and it's going to affect the students. Should they move the residents to the classroom? So they said they are engaging, but the chief or the Mankalo said to me that they've not met with the VRA yet. Neither did the interministerial committee set up by the president after the spillage have come to have any meeting with them going forward. Should there be any other spillage in the near future?
Thank you very much, Joseph Armstrong, reporting live from Mepe in the Volta region, where the VRA intends to spill excess water from the Akosombo Dam. Now, the coalition of unemployed graduate and diploma teachers have expressed their frustration against the recent recruitment exercise carried out by the Ghana Education Service, which excluded university graduate and diploma holders. The exercise, according to the group, which focused solely on 2022 graduates from public colleges of education, is not only unfair but also biased and discriminatory against graduate students from the various universities in the country. Let's speak to Daniel Jan, who is Vice President of the coalition, on this. He joins us live on the line. Good afternoon to you, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. Hello, Mr. Jan.
Hello.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
I'm just wondering what your issues are. Why are you saying this is discriminatory?
Yes, this is discrimination because we have the same qualification with the public training colleges, and we have the same license, we have done national service. So if they are to recruit teachers and the government give a quota of 12,000, of which we have already applied, initially the GS received about 20,000 applicants. But then the quota, even if it is not up to the number, they could have decided to segment it and give some to the public training colleges and also some to the university graduates. But the GS didn't do that, but rather give all the quota to the training colleges, of which we feel is unfair treatment, and we don't know when we are going to be posted again, because they gave a date to it, of which is going to be expired this July. Yeah, so that action alone, we having the same qualification and posting only the training colleges and leaving the university graduates makes it an unfair and discrimination, a form of discrimination.
So what do you intend to do about this, especially when you say the expiration date is end of this month?
Yes, so we are giving the government to the 20th of this month, July. If nothing is being done about it, then there will be a mass demonstration. Because we be in a house, we don't have any work doing. So going to the GS office, the Ministry of Education and the Parliament, we'll be sleeping there for a month, we'll still be okay. Because if I'm in the house, I don't have anything doing. It's better I go there and fight for my rights.
It's better I go there and fight for my rights. Those were the words of Daniel Jan, who is the coalition of unemployed graduate and diploma teachers, expressing their dissatisfaction with the decision of GES to post some of their colleagues and leave them out. And that's how we end the news here on 3FM. My name is Beatrice. Thank you very much for joining us today. Remember to stay glued to 3FM, to TV3 and all our digital and online platforms, because we'll be bringing you a comprehensive coverage of the official unveiling of the vice presidential candidate of the MPP, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, happening in the Ashanti region. Log on to 3news.com for more news. Good afternoon.
Accra gets busy on this frequency. 92.7 3FM.
It's time now for Business Daily. Coming up, Ghana Association of Banks rejects speculative foreign currency savings amid regulatory concerns. We'll hear from its president, John Ewa.
The black market, buy foreign currency from a forest bureau or even a black market and come and dump it in the bank. Is that what we want as a country? No.
Also, economist Dr. Saad Idris, who advocates tiered banking system to empower local banks and boost SMEs, as former President John Dramani Mahama vows to put premium on indigenous banks if re-elected.
Encouraging more small banks to operate under the banking tie system he intends to introduce will help the business environment.
Plus, UN President's coordinator urges Ghana to leverage electric mobility for job creation and sustainable development.
Beyond the policy, we need to attract the right kind of finance, and this will require public-private partnerships, working with the private sector.
My name is Manu Afful. Details of these stories and more are lined up for you to stay. Straight to our first story. President of the Ghana Association of Banks, John Ewa, has made a firm statement against the use of foreign currencies, especially the US dollar, as a primary store of value in Ghana. He asserted that while the transactional foreign currency accounts are still allowed, savings should be held in the base currency to avoid speculative practices and support national financial stability. This response comes amid rumors about a potential halt on foreign currency accounts by banks.
There is no country under the sun where the base currency is not the savings arena, or the base currency is not the medium to store value. You cannot go to the US and say you want to keep your savings in pounds. In the same way, you cannot go to UK and say you want to keep your savings in dollars. You can keep a dollar account in the UK, you can keep a pound account in the US for your transaction, but you cannot keep it as a store of value when that country has a base currency. So what the bank did is actually a very positive move, which should be welcomed by all the watchers of financial practices in the country, that we do not, as community of banks, want to be part of any speculative arrangement on the currency. If you keep a savings account in a foreign currency, what you are saying is, in the situation where we have now, people can just go to the black market, buy foreign currency from a forest bureau or even a black market, and come and dump it in the bank. Is that what we want as a country? No.
John Ewa is president of the Ghana Association of Banks. Away from that, US-based economist Dr. Saad Idris has advocated for the implementation of a tiered banking system to support local and indigenous banks, arguing that their survival is crucial for lending to small and medium-sized enterprises that account for over 80% of existing jobs. He suggests that the Bank of Ghana lower capital requirements for these banks to enable them retain more capital and contribute significantly to socio-economic development. His comments come on the back of former President John Dramani Mahama's quest to give much premium to local banks if re-elected.
If you look at the COVID too, it's not worth it. COVID is over, but yet Ghanaians are paying. So it all adds up to the port duties too, which government will actually need to look at. So for the former president to make mention of scrapping some of these port levies too, I think the business community stands to benefit. Again, if you look at another benefit to the business community was the fact of the Thai banking system. This is very helpful. It will help the Ghanaian economy. If you look at it, our economy is driven by the informal sector. The mom and dad enterprises. These enterprises some of them don't even employ up to 50 people, but yet they need capital. They can't go to the big banks. They need to rely on the small banks. To encouraging more small banks to operate under the banking tie system he intends to introduce will help the business environment, to help businesses to get capital and to be able to employ people and create more jobs for the economy.
That was US-based economist Dr. Saad Idrisu, and also the United Nations Resident Coordinator for Ghana, Charles Abani, has urged government to harness the entire value chain of electric mobility to create jobs and address the country's youth unemployment. He emphasized the need for private partnerships to facilitate the adoption of electric vehicles, which will help Ghana achieve the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 7, which aims to ensure affordable, reliable, sustainable and modern energy for all by 2030. He made the remarks at the Electric Mobility Conference 2024 in Accra.
So I think this is really important. In order to achieve this, a number of things need to be in place. An enabling policy environment that is balanced between the opportunities of bringing in foreign investment, but also I think looking at the opportunity to create jobs, to leverage the whole value chain for Ghanaian businesses, and to also harness the innovation that is coming from within Ghana. Beyond the policy, we need to attract the right kind of finance. And this will require public-private partnerships, working with the private sector to really see how we create those opportunities, particularly in the industrial value chain associated with EVs and e-transportation, whether this is in vehicles themselves, but also the infrastructure that is required and the whole ecosystem of support, whether this is maintenance.
That was United Nations Resident Coordinator for Ghana, Charles Abani there. Well, that brings us to the end of Business Daily on 3FM. Before we go, let's take a look at our top stories. Ghana Association of Banks rejects speculative foreign currency savings amid regulatory concerns. We heard from its president, John Ewua. Economist Dr. Saad Idrisu advocates third banking system to empower local banks and boost SMEs. Also, UN President's Coordinator urges Ghana to leverage electric mobility for job creation and sustainable development. Well, that's it for Business Daily on 3FM 92.7. For more stories, kindly log on to our website on www.3news.com. My name is Manu Afful. Do stay tuned. Urban Blend is up next with Black Rasta.